All right, let's dive into one of the biggest, most common myths out there about space, this whole idea of zero gravity. We see those incredible videos of astronauts floating around, and we just assume gravity has completely checked out. But the truth is actually way cooler.
I mean, you've seen it a million times, right? Footage from the International Space Station. Astronauts just gliding through the air, their tools just kind of hanging out next to them. So the big question is, why? Why does that happen?
And the answer that probably jumps into your head is, well, there's no gravity. It's zero G, right? They're way out in space, so of course gravity isn't pulling on them anymore. Seems pretty simple, case closed. Or is it? Okay, but wait a second. Let's think about this. The moon, it's way, way farther out than the space station. And yet, we all know it's Earth's gravity that's keeping it locked in orbit, spinning around us. So, if gravity can reach all the way out to the moon, it's got to still be working where the astronauts are. And that leads to an even bigger problem with the no-gravity theory. If there really was no gravity up there, what's stopping the space station and all the people inside it from just drifting away? They just float off into the endless black of space. Something must be holding them in place.
So, here's the big reveal. This whole zero-G thing, it's a myth. The reality is something called microgravity. See, astronauts aren't floating because gravity is gone. They're floating because they are in a state of constant, nonstop freefall.
So what in the world is microgravity? Well, it's the official term for that feeling of being weightless. It's the effect you get when you and everything around you are all falling at the exact same speed. You look and feel weightless, but trust me, gravity is still there doing its thing. So, if gravity's still there, just how strong is it? Now get ready for this, because this is the part that blows most people's minds. At the altitude where the International Space Station orbits, Earth's gravity is still about 90% as strong as it is down here on the surface. 90%. That is not even close to zero. And that right there is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If gravity is yanking on the astronauts with almost the same force that you and I feel right now, why aren't they just plummeting back to Earth? How on earth are they floating? Okay, to really get this, let's do a little thought experiment. Picture this. You're in an elevator, just standing there, maybe looking at your phone, and then the cables snap. Now, don't worry, you're totally safe. This is just in our heads. But what happens in that moment? As you're falling, gravity is pulling on you, on the elevator car itself, and on the phone in your hand, all at the same time. If you were to let go of your phone, it wouldn't fall to the elevator floor. It would just hover right there in front of you. Why? Because the three of you, the phone, the elevator, are all falling together. Inside that box, relative to your surroundings, you're weightless. And that is exactly what's happening on the International Space Station. The ISS is our falling elevator. It is constantly, endlessly falling toward Earth, pulled by that super strong 90% gravity. And just like you in that elevator, the astronauts and all their gear are falling right along with it. So, if it's always falling, why doesn't it ever hit the ground? This is the beautiful mind-bending part. It's the art of falling and missing. Think about it. You throw a ball, it goes forward a bit, then gravity brings it down. Okay, now imagine you fire a cannonball from a huge mountain. It goes way further before it hits the ground. But now, what if you could fire that cannonball so incredibly fast, we're talking about 17,500 miles per hour, that as it falls down, the round Earth curves away underneath it at the exact same rate. It's always falling, but it's moving sideways so fast that it just keeps missing the planet. That, my friends, is what an orbit is. So let's just recap the whole thing. That zero gravity we see in videos, it's a myth, an illusion. Gravity is still super strong up in low Earth orbit. The reason astronauts float is because they're in microgravity, which is just a fancy word for being in a constant state of freefall. And an orbit? An orbit is just the simple, elegant art of falling towards something, but going so fast sideways that you miss it, every single time. It really makes you think, doesn't it? For an astronaut, down is just whichever way they happen to be falling. Their entire sense of direction is relative. And if we could be so wrong about something as basic as gravity, it just makes you wonder, what other fundamental truths about the universe are we getting wrong, just waiting for the right perspective to come along and blow our minds all over again? Thanks for digging into this with me.